Lights, camera, action. Okay. You're watching Food is Medicine TV, where we help you heal from the root cause. First, it was the Atkins diet, and now it's the keto diet. Both are trendy, low to no carb, high fat diets because they often promise quick weight loss. We've discussed some of this previously in our episode called, Is the Ketogenic Diet Good or Bad for You? This diet has been studied and researched for those with epileptic seizures, and the research is there for this, that ketones can be used by the brain as a building block. It can also be beneficial for other disease states. When tested in diabetes, a low-carb diet can be indicated to reduce hemoglobin A1C, HA1C, which is a marker for diabetes and prediabetes, as well as lipid or cholesterol numbers. But there's a serious downside to this trend that's going to catch up with people who are doing it for long periods of time. It's dangerous. Let's talk about what is ketosis exactly. It's a state where the body is receiving a low intake of carbohydrate sources and a high intake of fat, often 70 to 80% of calories consumed coming from fat. The body then learns to burn fat for energy by way of producing ketones, which circulate in the bloodstream to serve as energy. Ultimately, this is mimicking fasting or starvation mode. When first starting a ketogenic diet, the effects can be fast as the body starts going through something called gluconeogenesis. This is where the body is using stored glucose in the form of glycogen from your muscles and your liver, and it's using this for energy. After the body burns through this energy, it's going to turn to using ketones in fat for energy. Here's the huge problem with gluconeogenesis. We need the stored glucose or glycogen in our liver and muscles to use as fuel when food is not present or in times of stress to balance our blood sugar. A healthy human body should have 1,400 to 2,000 calories or 350 to 500 grams of glycogen stored in their muscles and about 400 calories or 100 grams of glycogen stored in their liver. Having that backup supply creates a stable resilience in the nervous system, and it gives you a higher ability to tolerate and rebound from stress because the body keeps from overproducing and inappropriately producing the stress hormones cortisol and adrenaline, which are toxic to your adrenal glands, thyroid, gut, immune system in excess. When these hormones are present in excess, they are toxic. Why then is the ketogenic diet so dangerous? Because it's toxic to your adrenals and your thyroid and to some degree your liver. It means it's going to eventually give you problems with sleep and energy and weight, as well as your mental and emotional health. Because if you force your body into long-term ketosis via gluconeogenesis where you're starting, you are giving away your generator and leaving no alternative fuel source when the power goes out, so to speak. Those of us who build up our reserves and learn how to burn healthy carbohydrates as fuel get the freedom, self-reliance, and strength to live off the grid, so to speak, because we're not as weakened by external events or major stressors the way other people's lives literally stop when high stress enters their life. Think about this. If you were stranded on a deserted island and you had no food, you'd burn through your glycogen stores first, and you'd do it quickly because the body wants to burn carbs as fuel to keep your cells and metabolism revved. Next, your body's going to start burning ketones and fat that it went through your glucose reserves, and after that, you're going to go into muscle wasting where it has no choice but to burn protein for fuel. The problem is using anything other than carbohydrates as a primary fuel source creates a stressful survival mode within the body and forces the overproduction of stress hormones in the breakdown process. You cannot have healthy stress hormones and be on a long-term ketogenic diet. It is scientifically impossible. This is a starving state of emergency for the body, and yet millions of people are willingly choosing to eat this way because we live in a quick fix society that wants to force or trick the body into doing what we want it to do versus being kind to your body, soothing, healing the nervous system, balancing your hormones, healing this broken metabolism so it can work for you instead of against you. We have to let go of this instant gratification and do what is right to support us and our health process for decades to come. It feels to us as an instant gratification society to be too long to do it the right way. Thus, we spend decades chasing the wrong way, when if we just did it the right way, we could live in balance in really just a couple of months' time. Okay, enough of my tangent. Let's discuss the research. There have been a couple positive studies looking at ketogenic diets for a period of 4 to 24 weeks, 6 months maximum, but the results are mixed, showing some improvements in weight and obesity. Of course, that's why people do it, while a second study showed there was no improvement when compared to the same caloric intake but a high-carb diet. The ketogenic diet, the dangers of it, it acts as a diuretic. So yeah, naturally weight loss happens because you're not eating carbs, and carbs hold on to fluid in the body. And while we love fat, I love everything here that I am showing you, and I think fat is an essential micronutrient. With an unbalanced source of carbs coming from roots and fruits, it can be dangerous because it's going to overload your liver and your gallbladder. You're going to lose your ability to detoxify. You're going to put a heavier burden on your kidneys to do the detoxification, and your liver and your gallbladder are going to be so busy trying to process all this fat, you're not going to be able to produce antioxidants, to produce the right amount of cholesterol to keep your sex hormones balanced. Which leads me to the ladies. Women, this can show up as mood swings, unbalanced cycles, fertility issues, energy and vitamin deficiencies, because you're kept in fight or flight. The keto diet is stressful. Stress equals high cortisol equals stubborn belly fat. We have so many people who did our adrenal recode program, which is basically a ketogenic diet recovery program, who are finally losing stubborn belly fat after years of eating that way. Women's hormones are so very delicate. Estrogen and progesterone affect our weight, our neurotransmitters, which are the chemical messengers in our brain. They also affect our sleep and our mood. And so if estrogen drops, which is really important in bone density, bone metabolism, there is a risk for osteoporosis. This is really important for women of all ages, from menstruation all the way to menopause. Guys, we got a ton of guys eating the ketogenic diet. Let me tell you, if you want to have a baby, the studies are showing that a high-fat diet reduces sperm count. And for women and men alike, the ketogenic diet is no bueno for the thyroid. Thyroid hormone production drops with both low-carb diets and ketosis, especially T3. This is the thyroid hormone that gives you energy, guys, and it runs your weight, your digestion, and your metabolism. So if you have any form of hypothyroidism, you should never even think about doing the ketogenic diet, because you need this information in order to heal. What if you have been doing the keto diet for a long time and now this is resonating with you? How do you come off of it? Or even if you're just eating low carb, what do you do? How do you get carbs back in your body again? If you go too quickly, adding carbs back, you will gain a lot of weight. So your body, it just hasn't been used to using carbs for fuel, so it doesn't know what to do with them. It'll pack it on as fat. What you need to do is go through a training period, just the same way as when you started working out again. You would go to the gym and you're not going to deadlift 200 pounds all at once, right? If you haven't exercised in a year, you have to go slow. Same thing with carbohydrates. Start getting in healthy, organic fruit and root vegetables with each meal, but start off slow, like 2 tablespoons or 1/8 cup if you haven't been eating these foods, and slowly over time you'll be able to increase that as you train your body to use these foods as fuel once again instead of store them as fat. This goes for people if you have poor digestion, your digestion isn't great, if you eat carbs and you get bloated, you're going to start with cooked fruits and make sure whenever you have fruit, it's going to be cooked. You might even peel apples and pears and cook them. While we love the pectin in the skin for its insoluble fiber, if your digestion's compromised, it's going to be tough for you to digest. And when you're living in fight or flight mode and long-term ketosis, you're already stressed. So in summary, every human being that eats food needs to understand that glucose, healthy glucose, is the preferred source for the body. The body feels starvation when it doesn't have enough glucose present in the bloodstream and therefore releases stress hormones that give you negative symptoms both physically and emotionally. If you want to find out more about this approach, take our free mini course, ketorecovery.net. Leave a comment now and let us know if this resonates with you and how we can help you fine-tune and use your food as medicine, not just so that you can heal, but so that you can thrive. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time on Food as Medicine TV.